Hello, my name is Sandi Isburg, and I'm relatively new to your church. Became a member on January 25th of 2024. But it doesn't mean that I have been out there gliding in the sky. I have been visiting many churches and made a conscious decision that this was a place for me. I really want to thank you for the opportunity to join your church and to spiritually grow with your church, because I feel like they provide a difference in the community. I was attracted to UCC by the visibility and service that the majority of the membership provide. The members work as a group and find strength in each other. If you watch communities, they usually form in schools or in churches but as they grow, the two institutions can either maintain their strength or they can crumble. If you look around us, you'll see communities which appear to be dying and their schools are closed and their churches have poor attendance or no attendance. The health of the community can be gauged by looking at the churches and the schools, and not by the size of their Walmart or their blue light special or those types of things. It's the churches and schools that are a good monitor of what's going on in the community. In the times of hardships and family stress, the churches need to step out of their walls and address the needs, both physical and mental, and family concerns. UCC has a congregation who are warriors for community service, but that's only the tip of the iceberg, if you get the punt. My last name is Iceberg, and I'm really always trying to find what's below the water. But just as being visualized as the other needs that are below the water, I challenge you to continue to energize in the strength together as Christian soldiers would marching to war. I'd like to emphasize that when you provide activities in community service or missions within the community, that you work together, arms together, and as friends working together. You know, you can put a stick in a fire at the campsite and that stick by itself will glow. But if you put many sticks in the fire and work together, there's more than a glow, there's actual heat and there's energy generated. So everything you do is very important that you work together as a group in harmony within the church. I also see that the sharing of your talent of gift and music with the community is a very important part of the spiritual journey and a walk with God. I thank you for the ministry of music because it has been one of the attractions that I've seen in the community over many decades, and I really feel like that it's the most positive part for me within the church, in that I spiritually can grow best through the use of music. Even though you wouldn't want me to be singing in the church, it is part of my spiritual identity. The church cannot be sustained, though, without a budget and goals as to where they're going or the direction that they wish to be. The reality is that we need financial support. We need to financially support the church by tithing. Tithing is kind of an old term, biblical term, but something that I was raised with. I know that basically we don't want to let go of our money or our possessions. I don't know why we are so selfish, but we are really quite self-centered when it comes to meeting our own needs first. And God asks that we tithe when we first receive our gift from Him. But, you know, as a child, my father taught us to tithe 10% of all the money that we received, whether I was cleaning a house or if I was babysitting for a family. I always had to put on the table the 10% before I started to distribute to those things that I wish to have of material value in my life. My father taught us to do this traditionally, and he did it himself with any money that he brought into the house. When it came time for the audit by IRS, they always liked to audit him because they couldn't believe that somebody would tithe that much. They had him tagged because they just didn't run into people who gave a true 10%. And that kind of spoke to me, the fact that people probably aren't practicing what God told us to do. And it is hard, but we need to realize that the church is a business also and needs our financial support. It's probably not a common practice to do a lot of tithing or to do tithing at all, but the Bible teaches us that we need to support the church through financial support and through some kind of commitment in order to maintain the budget of the church. The church is also supported through service and through ministry, and this church also does that very well. We also have an obligation and commitment and responsibility to God to provide our service and our financial support to the church. So I encourage you to take some time this afternoon and sit down and introspect on what you've done to support the church, what you can do, and what your gifts are, and which areas you can work best. Also, look at your goals for financial support of the church, because in reality, it takes financial support to maintain the church. So I challenge you to embrace what God has taught us to do and to try to identify the pathway that would be most comfortable to you. Thank you for letting me talk to you about this aspect.